I think that community opera as a whole, not just at Glyndebourne but everywhere else, has risen in terms of the standard of work that's being performed and the scale on which it's performed. When we did our first community opera here back in 1990, it was a relatively small-scale project. It wasn't in the theatre, it was out on the Hastings Pier, and it was pioneering in terms of the work that it was doing. Reaching Imago now, we've come to something on a completely different scale. Put the word out that we were looking to commission a new team to write an opera. We wanted something that was going to engage in a meaningful way, lots of amateur performers, and we wanted something that I think was going to have a relevance to our lives as they exist today.
Imago is an intergenerational love story. It's the name of a gaming program, and in the story a person has developed this to be used in a care home for older people, and he introduced it particularly to a character called Elizabeth, who's one of our main characters. And the idea is you can relive your life. You can create an Imago at whatever age you like. And so what she does is she chooses to be 18 again, and she creates an Imago of a young girl called Lisette.
I think of Lisette as treating Elizabeth almost like a mother at that 18-year-old stage, and kind of wanting her own independence from her and to make her own decisions and judgments, but constantly being told off.
I call her my mini-me. So I've created this image, and I say she's just perfect.
The other characters in the story are two young boys, the sons of the computer programmer who's designed the gaming system, who, unknown to their father, have got onto his game. And the boys create Gulliver, and Lisette and Gulliver meet and fall in love.
It's a very modern twist on your sort of classic opera love story, which is really interesting.
There is a love relationship at the very heart of it, and in a sense it's a kind of cyber bohème in one sense, that you've got a doomed relationship. It is a very kind of traditional operatic dilemma.
The idea for the piece came from a story that Susannah told us about her mother being in a care home and falling in love with her much, much younger carer. And that kind of got us thinking about what would that be about? How would you kind of satisfy that urge?
Most of people's social activity and their entertainment is now within their own living space. And so that's very much a feature of the sort of thought, the philosophical idea behind Imago.
We live in a very vibrant and exciting community here in Sussex, and we have a big local connection through our education work, and it gives us a chance to pull together, in a way, all that education work that we do with the community into one big project.
The cast is completely from the community. There are about 80 people, all of whom are taken from the local area and who have a passion for singing and being on stage, and who want to be part of Glyndebourne's production.
I got a text saying, "Congratulations on your Glyndebourne debut." And I just went mad.
I was at work.
I was at work too. I was like, email, oh no way!
My partner answered the phone and he said, "It's Glyndebourne."
Suddenly phone call, and it was a bit of a surprise.
Just couldn't believe it. I said, "You've made an old man very happy."
It's going to be incredibly hard work for the chorus because Orlando took Glyndebourne at their word. He's embedded the chorus throughout, so they are absolutely central to the story and they are throughout the opera. The easy part of working with amateurs is just their excitement and harnessing that excitement and, you know, how much they want to be there. And you can ride that as a director and channel that as a director.
Do with hearing more of them.
Yeah, you know the trendy things in there.
The orchestra is a great idea. It's a mixture, sort of nearly half and half of professional players and amateur players. And that in itself is an amazing educational opportunity, actually, is to be able to sit alongside absolutely brilliant players from the Aurora Orchestra and learn how it's done.
I love the music in Imago. It's so diverse, it's so jazzy and rhythmical bluesy. There's lots of dissonance. It's very accessible. I think all ages will love it.
I think there's now really no difference the way we approach community opera and presenting it on the stage to one that we might put on in the summer festival.
We're doing a lot with 3D holographic projections, because in the story we have to make these characters disappear like that.
Our first moment that we interact with the game is when Elizabeth's making her character in the game. And in this moment of creating her character, we're using an old Victorian trick called Pepper's Ghost, where we'll make the illusion of a projected image in the room. So it will appear that the projected image is standing next to the bed.
We're going into really high-tech design that I've never used as a director. I mean, luckily I've surrounded myself, I've done the really smart things as a director and surrounded myself with people who know a lot more about everything than I do. So the two designers who are working on this, Es Devlin and Bronia Housman, and the video artist, Finn Ross, you know, have worked all over the world creating work like this.
Our theatre's pretty busy all the year round, but we can always find a gap of 3 or 4 weeks somewhere in the year where we can let the theatre be used for an event like this. And I think that's what makes what we do at Glyndebourne very distinctive, and what I think is very important to continue in the future, which is that we give our community the chance to appear on our stage and have the feel of what it is like to perform in one of the best theatres in the world.
It's a really, really ambitious project, and I so approve of this kind of thing, that you kind of take community opera out of the ghetto and make it into something which is really, really, really worthwhile.
I think it has a transformational power as well in communities. It makes connections and bonds between groups of people that is enormously valuable socially.
For me, Glyndebourne is the best place to come and see opera for the first time. What's special about opera at Glyndebourne is how intimate it is. And I think Glyndebourne really, really cherishes the theatrical values in their productions and goes for that intimacy, and can, because the size of the house, the proportions of the house, make it possible to have a really, what I would call a really proper theatrical experience.